Hello there, and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Love Kills by Melanin Mayhem podcast, hosted by your favorite country girl, Renee Davis. Let me tell you, Love Kills brings you the stories of relationships and situationships of all kinds, honey. These relationships and situationships, they took a hard left off into some gangster shit that ended up with somebody getting their water turned off permanently, if you know what I'm saying. While I focus on serial killers and those with high body count shenanigans on Melanin Mayhem, on Love Kills, it's more of the one-off variety type of killations. You know, one fucked up individual did something real trifling and more fucked up one time, and I just gotta tell you about what that one thing was. But please understand, whatever the fuckery was that they did that might not have risen to the level of a Melanin Mayhem story, please understand, the shit that they did do was entirely uncalled for and audacious as fuck. So we're gonna get in and we're gonna get out just like a robbery, honey. Don't take all day to do nothing. So here, I got a story. You wanna hear it? Well, here we go. Today, New Orleans Nation, we are headed to Texas. And you know what they say about everything's bigger in Texas, right? Well, let me tell you, that shit is true for the motherfucker that I gotta tell you about today because, honey, his body count in one motherfucking whop was so big that it really just don't make no damn sense. I mean, this motherfucker was diabolical. Like, he could almost rival some of our mayhem makers over there at Melanin Mayhem. The nigga I'm gonna tell you about today, his name is David Conley. And you see, David might be a few sandwiches short of a picnic, but that's all right because somebody loved David. Somebody was down with David. It would be his baby mama, a woman named Valerie Jackson. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know about all the hows and the whys and the exact wins about a lot of they shit, but what I do know from the context clues was that Valerie and David, they was one of them couples that couldn't leave each other alone. Ooh, can y'all smell the toxicity of it all? And y'all know toxic love just ain't no good for nobody. Now, I'm gonna tell you my take on their relationship and how it all went to hell in a handbasket. Now, when it all began, David, he was in and out of jail for all mannerisms of the grand theft auto, drug possession, evading arrest, all that shit. I mean, I think it's safe to say that David's second home was the county jail. But you know, criminals need love too, and them bad boys, they don't have no problems getting with the ladies. And David and Valerie, they got together somewhere around 1999-ish. They met on a dating app. Y'all better be careful on them damn apps. And let me tell you, shit moved fast because the next thing you know, Valerie was pregnant and then boom, they got a bouncing baby girl sometime in mid-2000. Well, I'm gonna tell you, from the beginning, the toxic nature of this relationship was front and center. I mean, when they should have been in the honeymoon phase of their relationship, Valerie was getting manhandled by this nigga. Oh yes, honey, they say a couple of weeks before Christmas in 2000. Now mind you, 2000 is when she had her daughter by David. Well, by Christmas time, baby David was going all upside her head. Say he threw her on the bed and straddled her and put a knife to her throat, talking about he ain't going back to prison for her ass. Sir, if you don't want to go to prison, then why the fuck is you sitting on this lady's chest with a goddamn knife to her neck? That's not how you protect her neck. And if that wasn't bad enough, he ends up cutting Val's neck. Not cutting it, but he drew blood. And that wasn't enough. Oh, now he got to put hands on her for real. Here come the 2-piece on a biscuit. Baby, this is how we know, though, that this nigga was not wrapped too tight because Valerie say not only did he crash out on her, he crashed out on their baby. Yes, say David went and wrapped an electrical cord around the baby's neck. What the fuck? Like, that's a step too far. I mean, I know grown folks do grown folk shit, and you can't speak on that shit. But when you start attacking a baby, this is a whole ass baby. I'm talking, can't even be 1 year old yet. You are trying to take the baby out? What the fuck did the baby do? Well, understand this. When Val did get free, she did call the police. Thank you, Val. And the police, they came and they took this nigga away, and he did go serve some time, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? Val let him come back. Y'all know how it is. I mean, this is the beginning of the back and forth that would become the foundation of their relationship. Kind of like Harpo and Sophia. David would beat on Val, and Val would take that shit, and her and the children would be outlets for his aggression. And then she would put him out, and then she'd take him back. And within 2 years' time, David and Valerie, they now got 2 children together. Oh, yeah, they had a little boy in 2002. So, according to Valerie's family, there was a reason for some of David's erratic behavior. They say that he was bipolar, but they also say that David ruled Valerie's house with an iron fist. Oh, baby, he didn't play the motherfucking radio. They say he was a strict disciplinarian to the children and to Valerie's ass, too. Like, she couldn't go nowhere. He was one of them spatterod, spoiled a child type of peoples, and he meant that shit for the children and for the woman. Oh, baby, he didn't give a fuck about putting belt to ass on anybody, including Valerie. But here's the thing. Valerie might have been scared of him, but she always went back to him no matter how bad he treated her and them kids. But wait a minute. I ain't even really got to the nitty gritty of this here thing now. Now, see, this relationship is a show enough situationship because at some point, Val did break free of David's control. Now, I ain't got no hard proof, but in my experience, the only way you get a breather from a man like David is if that motherfucker go to jail. And that's exactly what happened. David got hit with an assault charge in 2002, and I think he got like a 5 to 12 year sentence. So he's in prison. He gone to the big house, and Valerie started playing house. Oh, baby, Val went and found her some greener grass, baby. Yes, enter Dwayne Jackson, Valerie's new boo. Now, Dwayne is like 10 years older than Valerie, and before long, he was not only her new baby daddy, he was also her husband. Yes, honey. Looked like Val was trying to get her groove back and move on, baby, and I'm not mad with you. Sometimes the best way to get over one is to get under another one. Ain't that what they say? Valerie and Dwayne, they welcomed their first child together in 2004. They had a bouncing baby girl named Honesty. Now, Valerie would go on to have a total of 5 kids by Dwayne between 2004 and 2009. I'm talking my sister girl was popping them out. Pop, 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 pop. But here's the thing. In between these babies, Valerie and David would reconcile and then break up. And then here come Dwayne. And then they would break up. And then here come David. I mean, it was like they were a throuple. Sometimes she was with David. Sometimes she was with Dwayne. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's true. And the math, it bears it out. Like, for instance, Valerie's last child with Dwayne was born in 2009. But in 2008, David was charged with jumping on her ass. Valerie even gets a restraining order for this assault. Now, mind you, they were living in Wisconsin, not Texas. The judge in Wisconsin granted Valerie a restraining order in 2008. But then in 2012, Valerie wrote the court in Wisconsin and asked them to drop the restraining order. She didn't want it against her baby daddy no more. They was back together. But the following year, in 2013, they have moved from Wisconsin to Texas. They're in Harris County. Valerie is back in front of a judge in 2013 asking for another restraining order to keep David the fuck away from her because he at her ass again with a knife. I mean, from Wisconsin to Texas, that's a ride. And David is all up in this picture, and it's very much giving that's my motherfucking baby mama type of energy, right? And it's toxic because they in it and then they out. They in it and then they out. I mean, right after the judge in Texas gives her a restraining order, this is April of 2013. Baby, why the following month she on Facebook posting, David is the best father in the whole world. My baby, my best friend, my forever. You always put me and our kids ahead of yourself and always take care of home. What? Like, I'm legit. She posted this a couple of days after David got sentenced for whipping her ass, for pulling that knife on her. Like, make it make sense. Like I said, this shit is toxic. So the following year, 2014, she posted about her good man, Savannah. Oh, he ain't shit now. This post is talking about how someday you'll meet a man and he'll sweep you off your feet and he'll promise you the world. You just punch that lying bastard as hard as you can and run, baby. Girl, I'm getting whiplash. It's just seemed too much, girl. I mean, but I get it. I truly do. You cannot help who your person is. Like, the motherfucker that just do it for you, you cannot help it. Them pheromones just hit just the right way. But sweet black Jesus, this is a lot. Like, this man is laying hands on Valerie on the regular, but she just can't stay away. They own, and David live in the house with Val and her kids by him and Dwayne, and then they off. And now Dwayne live in the house with Val and her kids by him and David. And then they off. And David is back in the house living with Valerie and the kids, and then they off. And here come Dwayne living in the house with Valerie and her kids. Baby, that's a whole lot of. But I'm saying, if you like it, I love it. And as long as it stays toxic and not fatal, I mean, do what you do. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, at the same time, it wasn't all unicorns and rainbows at Valerie's house of revolving menfolk. Now, what I know about the goings on outside of her man drama, it came from the shady ass neighbors. Ooh, baby, they spilled all the tea. And it's crazy because they wasn't trying to be nice. You know, normally after a tragedy happens, everybody speaks really well, real highly of the people that you're asking the question about. You know, you don't speak ill of people who've gone on. You know what I'm saying? You try to, even if you know they ain't shit, you still don't say it. Not these neighbors of Valerie's. Oh, baby, they spilled all the tea, baby. Because when the reporters came around, they had words, honey. They said that Valerie's children were, quote, often outside unsupervised, and the babies would be running around without no diapers on. Ooh, that's not a good look for the children. And apparently somebody made some reports because in 2013, Child Protective Services, they swooped in and they took Valerie's kids, every last one of them, because there were allegations of domestic violence and a lack of supervision for the children. Now, at some point, Valerie gets her children's back, but Valerie has 7 kids total. One, her oldest child with David, does not live with her. That child lives with Valerie's mama, okay? So Valerie got 6 kids in the house with her, and then one that lives with her mama. Well, again, the neighbors saying them 6 children that live with Val, they say that Valerie Nim, her and the men folks, say they didn't take care of none of them children. Say her and whichever one of her men was living in the house at the time, they would dip out and leave them kids to get it how they live. I mean, just be gone and leave them kids for hours and hours and hours like a Money Long song. Honey, say the baby would be in the street just acting like one of them baby's kids. They said the children were being neglected and mistreated by that man. I have to assume that they're talking about David, the spare the rod and spoil the child man that we already know about. But you know, can you really be sure? What we do know is that Valerie and David were back on again in 2015. At some point in time in 2014, shit started looking good. They made up. David probably shot her all them good lies. I ain't gonna do it no more. You know how that shit go. But whatever, however, they're back together when 2015 rolls around and looks like everything is okay. But then July 6, 2015, David was about to go off on one of Dwayne's children. And y'all know David liked that belt. And so he was finna beat the brakes off one of Valerie's children. And Valerie was like, you are not finna put your hands on my children. And she stood up to this man. Well, David was not appreciative of that shit. So since the child wasn't gonna get no ass whooping, somebody was gonna get an ass whooping in that house. So baby, he tried to put Valerie's head through the motherfucking refrigerator. Just roughing her up something serious. Valerie did indeed call the police, and they came and carted David away, and then she changed her locks. Okay, we off again. David don't live here no more. You ain't finna put your hands on my motherfucking child. Fuck you, nigga. And I ain't mad with that, Valerie. I mean, baby, if you don't stand for something, you file for anything. But you know, kind of like clockwork, once David was out, a couple of days later, Dwayne was back in. I mean, true enough, Dwayne is her husband, but I mean, goddamn, when I say a few days later, I'm talking about a few days later. Shit, David's clothes was still hanging up in the closet. But you know what? This time, it would only be a month before everything went to hell. Oh, honey, so let me tell you. David is out July 6, 2015. Dwayne is in July of 2015. The following month, August the 8th, seems like it's just gonna be a regular day, but it wasn't. Y'all, please tell me why this nigga David, he done crawled in a window at Valerie and what's now Dwayne's house. And baby, he did not come empty-handed. Oh, no. He came in with a pistol. And when I tell you he laid everybody down, I mean he laid the whole house the fuck down. Valerie, 40 years old, her husband Dwayne, 50 years old, and 6 of Valerie's 7 children, including David's own son. David has a son with Valerie. His name is Nathaniel. He's 13 years old, and he got laid the fuck down too. The other 5 children were Dwayne's children. We talking 11-year-old Honesty, 10-year-old Dwayne Jr., 9-year-old Caleb, 7-year-old Trinity, and 6-year-old Jonah. When I told you that they were stair steps, I wasn't playing. Oh, Valerie then was getting it in. They was plentiful and populating the earth, honey. But this trifling motherfucker David, though, he is in the house, and he is not leaving until everybody gone. This trifling motherfucker shot each and every one of these 8 human beings in the head and sent them to be with the king, all in one go-round. Like, what in the entire fuck? Like, y'all, when I say one by one, he shot them execution style. This man came in the window with handcuffs, plural. He had enough handcuffs for everybody whose wrist was big enough to fit a pair of handcuffs. Now, I just don't understand. I can't get it to compute. And I can't imagine the terror in that house. Valerie had to watch her kids be murdered. Dwayne had to see his kids be murdered. Now, we don't know what order he killed them in, but do it matter? He did that shit. He did it, and he took his time with it. This stinking motherfucker was in Valerie's house all day and half the night. Oh, when I say he took his time, I mean that motherfucker had time today. Now, at the same time when this is going on, Valerie's family is frantic because Valerie some way, somehow has managed to send her mama a Facebook message saying David is in the house. He got a gun on us. Please send some help. Baby, I cannot imagine Valerie's mama finna scroll on Facebook, do some mindless flipping through pages. You see that you got a messenger and you open it up and it's your daughter asking you from states away, because if I'm not mistaken, Valerie's mama stayed in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or something like that. She stayed out of state. And you see a message from your child telling you to please help me. This man got a gun. Send somebody. Well, baby, now, mama is in Montana. Now, she immediately calls the Harris County Sheriff Department and asks them to please go do a welfare check on her daughter and her grandbabies because her daughter's ex-boyfriend is at her house acting a goddamn fool. Now, when she get off the phone with the law, she follows procedure and activated the family call tree and raised the alarm that Valerie was in trouble. Now, Valerie's brother, his name is Earl. He, along with everybody else, commences to start calling Valerie, but she ain't answering the phone. So they call in the sheriff's department back. Hey, y'all need to please go out there and check on Valerie. She ain't answering the phone. Something ain't right. This is not a drill. The pimp is in distress. But the hours, they just keep passing. Now, y'all, I need y'all to understand that the Harris County Sheriff Department in Texas, they went to Valerie and Dwayne's house 3 motherfucking times on Saturday, August 8th. Yes, you heard me. I said 3 motherfucking times. And 3 motherfucking times, they said that they ain't seen nothing, they ain't heard nothing amiss. Nothing to see here. Even though we got a whole ass family calling from all across the United States telling us that Valerie is in this house getting fucked up. It don't matter. It doesn't matter that we are familiar with this address because we've been here before on some domestic violence shit. We've been here before when CPS took the children. We know that it sometimes goes the fuck down in this 3-bedroom house on Fallen Oaks. But they knocked on the door and didn't nobody answer. So they was like, we tried. 3 times. Once in the morning, early that morning. Once in the afternoon. once in the early evening. But these 3 times, they claimed that they didn't have enough information to make a forced entry. Unfucking believable. Like, you have got to be shitting me. You got folks making long-distance phone calls, multiple long-distance phone calls, telling you to go check out the scene because it's going down. And y'all ain't got enough information? Valerie's family was so persistent. They just did not let up. As the hours passed, they kept calling. And so, around 9 o'clock that night, the police go out one more motherfucking time. And now, at 9 p.m., hours later, after Valerie's mama raised the alarm, one of these lazy-ass officers of the goddamn law just so happens to look in the window and sees a body. Oh, now you see they wasn't bullshitting. Now you trying to go in the house. But David got smoked. Soon as they try to open up the door, he busting on their ass. Sir. But check this shit out. Valerie's brother, Earl, he was one of the first people that Valerie's mama called as soon as she got that Facebook message from Valerie, right? Now, Earl don't know what the fuck is going on. It's not like the Harris County Sheriff's Department is keeping the family in the loop. So what they've been doing is not only calling Valerie, they also calling David. They calling both of their phones all day, all night. Just like Valerie didn't answer, David didn't answer. And again, this shit went on all day into the night. But around 11 o'clock at night, Earl called David's phone one more time. And this time, David answered the phone. And Earl didn't beat around the bush. He asked that puss-ass nigga David straight up, I need to ask you a question. Did you kill my sister? And this dust-ass nigga David, this motherfucker said, yes, I did. Yeah. Like, he passed me the salt. Okay, sure. Here you go. Fine. Did you go get the mail? I did. Nigga, are you serious? So now, Valerie's family, Brother Earl, they called the sheriff's office back and tell them, hey, David is in Valerie's house. And he say that he done killed her. Please, y'all. Y'all got to go up in the house and handle this situation. My babies need help. Please go save my family. But the family, they don't know that Harris County, they been in a standoff with David for like 2 hours at this point. Now, y'all know, in many cases, the funky bastard in a standoff with law enforcement does the world a favor and they eat a bullet, right? Not this rat-faced ass David. No. David gonna give himself up. He talking with the negotiators and he's finally like, whatever. Y'all can come on in here. He done put up the white flag and came out with his hands up. But I mean to tell you, if ever there was a time when cops should have had a itchy trigger finger, it should have been that night. When he walked out that door, they should have lit his ass up. But of course, when they need to goddamn display a sense of force, they ain't got no fight in. You know what I'm saying? And they arrested David when he came out and they took his little punk ass on to jail and they charged him with multiple counts of capital murder and held that ass without bond. Now, when he's at the jail and the detectives get him in the box to question him, he didn't play in their faces. He went right on ahead and copped to killing the entire household, including his own damn son. He told the police the reason that he did it was because Valerie wasn't listening to him. Can you imagine? That was his justification for slaughtering an entire family, including his own damn son. Oh, my Lord. That was some fuckery if I've ever heard some fuckery. Like, I'm telling y'all, my flabber, it's gassed it. I mean, it wasn't supposed to end like this, right? I mean, it would be 6 years before the wheels of justice finally got around to rolling over David's punk ass. And after a 2-day trial in October, on October 7th, 2021, David Conley was convicted of 8 counts of capital murder, and they sentenced his ass to life without the possibility of parole. Now, y'all know Texas don't fuck around. They do have a death penalty, and they did try to give this nigga the death penalty, but his court-appointed attorneys, they worked some magic and got this motherfucker declared mentally disabled. Not incompetent, just disabled. And Texas got a law that you can't execute a disabled person. So, David Ray Conley III, he is inmate number 02370867 at the Estelle Prison in Huntsville, Texas. Now, Let me tell you something. We done talked about a lot of shit on this podcast. We have. We done heard some heinous goddamn crimes. But there is a special place in hell for somebody who can take a whole bunch of people off the board in one go-round. I mean, Val didn't think it was going to end like this. I mean, who the hell could have seen this coming? I know you never know the inner workings of somebody's relationship, the shit that make it work or what keeps them coming back. God damn, that's a level of toxicity that I just can't comprehend in this situationship. I mean, I understand. I'm a woman that loves a man, right? I know what it's like to go through some shit and stay. But there's some shit, and then there's some shit. You know what I'm saying? And some shit I just can't understand. I know it takes all kind of peoples to make up a world, and everybody ain't like me. But the back and forth in conjunction with the threats and the abuse, it's just too much for the country girl. Honey, you got one time to look like you want to put paws on me, and I'm out. Fuck with my children? Oh, we will leave you somewhere dusty, baby, and help the people look for you. But like I said, everybody ain't like me. But what a shame that 8 people had to lose their life because one man was in his feelings. One man massacred a whole family, including his own flesh and blood. There are truly evil people walking the face of this earth, y'all. My hope, my prayer, my wish for anybody in a toxic situation, anybody that's in a situationship that includes beatings and bruises. Sugar, love ain't supposed to hurt. Yes, I said postal. It ain't supposed to hurt. Life is hard enough. Home is where you should feel protected, not where you should need protection from whoever's in your house. But baby, please understand, there is help, there is hope, and there is life without pain. A life that is full of love and affection. There is a lid that fits your pot perfectly, and you are worthy of that. You deserve that, and it is out there. Toxic love ends badly. It leaves bodies and lives broken and torn asunder. My heart breaks for the children of Valerie and David and Dwayne. Them babies didn't deserve to have their lives cut short before they could even begin to live because of the bullshit that the adults were going through who were supposed to protect them. 6 babies who never had a chance to grow up, to see high school, to fall in love, to fall out of love, to live. All because one man couldn't stand losing control of a woman who maybe finally decided she didn't want his punk ass no more. Whew, honey, ooh. Let's talk about this shit on social media because, ooh, honey, I cannot. This is some fuckery and I need a drink. Y'all hit me up on the socials. Y'all can find me online. I'm Melanin Mayhem Podcast. And on X, I am Melanin Mayhem PC. The email is jumping. If that's more your ministry, you can hit me up at melaninmayhempodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't heard about it, there is a fabulous discussion group on Facebook. It is called the Melanin Mayhem Podcast Discussion Group. Go on over there, look me up, answer a couple of questions, and you too can be down with the crew. Now, I gotta go. It's late. I gotta get on up out of here. So, you know what this means, right? Until the next story ends in tears and tragedy and relationships take a hit, y'all stay safe and play that shit smart. And remember, love and emotions will make you do some crazy shit. But don't get caught up and fuck around and be on an episode of Love Kills. I don't want to talk about you and the shenanigans. Please. Now, I will see you again in 2 Fridays for another Love Kills type of situation. And of course, every Wednesday, you can catch me for Melanin Mayhem, honey, your standing dose of the mayhem. I thank you so much for streaming. And guess what? The country girl is out of here. Mwah.
Woo-wee, Nana, you did that. Wow.